Hi, friends, and welcome to the Coach Casey channel for podcasts that help us all become better people. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast, and also please join us on YouTube at the Coach Casey channel, where you'll always find weekly great content. So let's go.
Quit drinking or I am leaving you.
You can't trust him. He's always drunk.
I'm sorry, but based on your history, we just can't hire you at this time.
Have you been drinking again? I'm so sick of it.
Well, I guess we've all heard those at one time of our lives, either said about us or said about somebody that we know. So today on the Coach Casey channel's podcast, we're going to tackle a tough but really important question. You ready? Are alcoholics bad people? You know, it's a question many people silently wonder about. And for me, the short answer is no. Alcoholics are not bad people. But the reality of alcohol use disorder, you might know it as AUD, is far more complex than that. And I want to talk about the stereotypes surrounding alcoholics that can actually hold them back from recovery. So let's deal with stereotypes and stigmas and how they harm people trying to get sober and trying to change their life. People suffering from alcohol use disorder are often labeled as irresponsible, reckless, and morally weak. How about that? Of course, the people labeling them may not be able to throw stones. These stereotypes, they don't only represent the nature of addiction, but they also create a stigma that can make it hard for the people to get help. When someone is struggling with alcohol, it's constantly seen through the lens of their behavior, whether it's losing a job, getting a DUI, or even damaging relationships. They can start to believe they're unworthy of recovery. They may feel like they're bad people, when in reality they're fighting a serious chronic disease. So what are the consequences of AUD? AUD can lead to devastating consequences, not just for the individual, but for those around them. You know, we've seen cases of drunk driving accidents, spousal abuse, job loss, financial ruin, and even spiritual crises caused by alcohol abuse. These are real painful outcomes, and I don't want to minimize that, but here's the thing. These behaviors are symptoms of the disease. They don't define the person at their core. You got that? They don't define the person at their core. When we see the person through the lens of their addiction, we fail to understand that alcohol use disorder is a, wait for it, medical condition, one that requires treatment, compassion, and support. The more we stigmatize and judge those with AUD, the more we push them into shame. And shame can be one of the biggest barriers to recovery. When someone feels ashamed of who they are, they may believe they're beyond help. They may isolate themselves. They can hide their struggles or continue drinking to cope with that overwhelming shame. So how do we change this narrative? We need to start by separating the person from the effects of the disease. Just as we wouldn't say someone with diabetes is a bad person because they have health complications, we shouldn't define someone by their struggles with alcohol. Alcohol use disorder is 1, treatable, and 2, recovery is possible. But it starts with changing how we view the person struggling with this condition. We need to see the person behind the addiction, someone who is still worthy of love, support, and second chances. By doing this, we're not excusing harmful behaviors, but we're allowing space for healing, accountability, and growth. Well, here's the key takeaway. Alcoholics are not bad people. They are people struggling with a disease, and like any other disease, they deserve treatment, compassion, and a chance to get better. It's time we stop focusing on the stereotype of the bad alcoholic, excuse me, I'm yelling, and start seeing people as more than their addiction. Recovery is about healing, and we need to support that healing by recognizing the person, not just the problem. Well, thank you for listening to this podcast, and if you are more interested, I should say if you're interested in more information about sobriety, you can go to my channel, which is youtube.com/@Coach Casey channel, where I post daily and weekly informative videos about sober journeys for all of us. And remember, the more insights you have about alcohol, sobriety, and mental health, the more you have an improved chance of recovery. Also, if you're ready to take that next step, you can reach me directly at help@wellnesscompassinc.com or visit wellnesscompassinc.com. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. So, to wrap this up, AUD sufferers are often unfairly labeled as bad people. It just worsens their feelings of shame and inhibits recovery. We acknowledge that AUD has serious consequences such as DUIs, abuse, and job loss, but we need to emphasize that these are symptoms of the disease, not the person's character. Changing the perception is so important to healing their addiction, because by changing the perception, we're going to become more empathetic and compassionate and help them along on their sobriety journey. I hope this message inspires you, and I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. And please, if you go to the channel, like and subscribe. And you know what? I'll see you in the future.